Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at AI stock predictions.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, should be pretty interesting. So we've got these two reports, right? And they're both about AI-generated buy and sell signals.
Okay.
And they cover different companies in different, time periods.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so, one of them is looking at 250 companies from the Nifty Y index over 6 months. And that one's using hourly signal.
Hourly. Why?
Yeah, pretty granular, right?
Yeah.
And then the second one, it's just 26 companies, but it's over a whole year, and it's using daily signals.
Interesting. So it's kind of like we're looking at two different levels of zoom, right? Like one's a close-up and one's a wide shot.
Exactly. That's a great way to think about it.
Hmm.
And, when you look at the reports themselves, some of the stuff in there is really eye-catching. You've got companies with multiple buy and sell signals, some with none at all.
Mm.
And there's the whole last close value thing, which kind of hints at, potential profits.
Or losses, for that matter.
Yeah, you never know with the stock market, right? So what do you say? Ready to jump in and decode these signals? See if this AI actually knows what it's talking about.
I'm in. Let's start with that first report, the one with all the hourly data.
Okay, so the 6-month, 250 companies kind of deal.
Yeah, gives us a good, overview of the AI's performance across different sectors, almost like a market scan, in a way.
Gotcha. So, right off the bat, what are some of the companies that stand out to you?
Well, Avis Financiers and Burla Corporation caught my eye because there are a bunch of buy and sell signals for those.
Okay, a lot of activity.
Yeah, exactly. But then you have others like 361 WAM Limited or Adhar Housing Finance Limited, which have absolutely zero signals for the whole 6 months.
Does that mean the AI is basically saying steer clear?
Not necessarily.
I
It
don't-
could just mean that it didn't see those clear patterns it was looking for within that time frame. Remember, this AI is all about spotting specific opportunities to buy or sell.
Okay, so no signals doesn't necessarily equal a bad investment.
Right. It's more like the AI is saying, I didn't see anything interesting here.
Gotcha. So let's look at one with some signals then. How about Aegis Financiers? It had a buy signal on August 6th, 2024.
Okay, August 6th.
Yeah, and the price there was 1,629.8 EO. Then there's a sell signal on September 24th at 1927.60. Sounds kind of promising, no?
It does, but we got to factor in that brokerage fee, right? 1% for buying and selling. So if we do the math...
Hang on, let me grab my calculator.
Okay, so after the fees, it looks like the profit would have been about 266 rupees per share.
Wow, not bad for just a couple of months.
Yeah, not bad at all. Makes you wonder if this AI might actually be onto something.
It does.
Maybe
We got to
s-
be realistic too, right? What about those cases where the buy signal comes after the sell signal? Those short call situations you mentioned.
Good point. Let's see. How about Alloc Industries Limited? There's a sell signal on August 23rd, 2024 at 29.56, then a buy signal on February 5th, 2025 at 18.82.
So, if you'd shorted the stock based on that first signal, what would happen?
Well, after fees, you'd be looking at a loss of about 9 rupees per share,
Yeah.
so not ideal.
Okay, so even with this AI, there's still risk involved.
Definitely. It's not a magic bullet or anything. Past performance and all that jazz.
For sure. For sure. But hey, at least we're seeing how these signals can play out in different ways, right?
Yeah.
What else is catching your eye in this report?
Let's see. Burla Corporation has an interesting one. Buy signal on November 21st, 2024 at 1078.35. Then a sell signal just a few days later, December 6th, at 1482.60.
Wow, that's a quick turnaround.
Yeah. And with the fees factored in, the profit would have been around 373 rupees per share.
Dang. This AI might be good at spotting those super short-term opportunities.
Yeah, maybe. We got to see how it does with longer trends too, right? That's where the second report comes in.
Right, the yearly one, and it's got some of the same companies as the first report, right?
Yep. So we can compare how the AI signals change based on the time frame we're looking at.
That's cool. So a company could have a buy signal in one report, but not the other?
Exactly. Take Final X Cables Limited, for example.
Yeah.
It's in both reports, but in the second one, the yearly one, there are no signals at all.
Interesting. So maybe the AI sees some short-term potential, but not a clear trend over the whole year.
It's possible. Time frames can definitely change things up.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So what else are we seeing in this second report? Anything jump out at you?
Well, there's this company called 5 Paisa Capital Limited,
Uh-huh.
and it only has signals in this yearly report, not the other one.
Okay, interesting. So what's the AI saying about it?
Well, it gave a sell signal on February 5th, 2024 at 609.35, and then a buy signal almost a year later on February 5th, 2025 at 401.50.
Oh, so another one of those short selling scenarios.
Yeah, exactly. If you'd shorted the stock based on that first signal, after fees, you would have made a profit of about 187 rupees per share.
Wow, not bad for holding for a whole year, right?
Right. And it shows how this AI might be useful for finding those, like, less obvious opportunities.
For sure. But again, got to remember, this isn't about just blindly following what the AI says, right?
Absolutely. It's a
Yeah.
tool. It's about gaining insights.
Exactly. So what else are we seeing in this yearly report? Any other interesting cases?
Well, there's a company called Aurobindo Pharma Limited, and it's actually in both reports.
Okay, so we can compare what the AI thinks over the different time frames.
Right. So in the 6-month report, there's a buy signal on August 7th, 2024 at 994.25, and then a sell signal on August 28th at 1564.2. After the brokerage fee, that's a potential profit of like 538 rupees per share.
Wow, that's a big jump in just a few weeks.
Yeah, pretty impressive. But here's the thing, in the yearly report, it also shows buy and sell signals for Aurobindo Pharma, but at different times.
Okay, so it's like the AI is seeing the same opportunity, but the timing is different depending on how much data it's looking at.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's recognizing a trend over the whole year, but the exact entry and exit points shift based on, whether we're looking at hourly or daily data.
Makes sense. So what about a company that only got signals in the yearly report?
How about ICICI Bank Limited?
ICICI Bank. Oh,
Yeah, it gets a buy signal on February 5th, 2024 at 223.50. But there's no corresponding sell signal within that year.
so the AI thinks it's just going to keep going up.
Seems like it. And the last close value in the report is 1,267.70, so it looks like a good call so far. Even with the fees, we're talking about a potential profit of over 231 rupees per share.
Well, not bad at all.
Yeah, it just goes to show this AI can spot longer-term stuff too, not just those quick trades.
Right. Okay, this is pretty fascinating. But I got to admit, my brain's starting to get a little overloaded with all these numbers and signals.
Yeah, it's a lot to process. Why don't we take a little break and come back to it? There's still a lot more to unpack in these reports.
That's good to me. We'll pick this up in part 2.
All right, so where were we? Oh yeah, all those signals and AI predictions.
Yeah, my head's still spinning a little, to be honest.
It's a lot to take in for sure.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what makes this stuff so interesting, right? It's like solving a puzzle, trying to figure out what the AI is seeing and what it all means for us investors.
True, true. So any other big takeaways from those reports? Anything that really stood out to you?
Well, one thing I noticed is that the AI seems to perform differently depending on the time frame. Like in that 6-month report with those hourly signals, it seemed better at spotting those quick price swings.
Yeah, like it was more tuned into those short-term fluctuations.
Exactly, which makes sense, right? Hourly data gives you a much more granular view of what's happening in the market. So for day traders or people who are looking to capitalize on quick price movements, those hourly signals might be super valuable.
But for someone like me, who's more of a long-term investor,
Well, then the yearly signals from that second report might be a better starting point. But even then, you got to remember, the AI is analyzing historical data. What worked in the past might not necessarily work in the future.
right, the market's always changing, that's for sure. So back to those overall trends we were talking about. Did you notice any specific types of companies where the AI seemed to be more accurate?
It's hard to say for sure with just these two reports, but I did get the feeling that the AI might favor companies and sectors that are going through big changes or are known for being a bit volatile.
That makes sense. I guess those more dynamic sectors, there'd be more opportunities for the AI to pick up on those subtle signals that a price shift is coming.
Exactly. And remember, the AI isn't just looking at price movements, right? It's also analyzing other factors like trading volume, news sentiment, maybe even social media trends, trying to understand the bigger picture of what's driving the market.
Wow. So it's not just crunching numbers. It's like taking in all this other information too.
Right. It's like having a super powered research assistant that can process all this data way faster than any human ever could.
Okay. So thinking back to the specific companies, what about that Aurobindo Pharma Limited one? It was in both reports, right?
Yep. And it's a good example of how the time frame can affect the AI signals. So in that 6-month report, there's a buy signal on August 7th, 2024 at 994.25, and then a sell signal on August 28th at 1564.20. After deducting the brokerage fee, we'd be looking at a potential profit of 538 rupees per share.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Right. But here's where it gets interesting. The yearly report also shows buy and sell signals for Aurobindo Pharma, but at different times. The buy signal comes way earlier on February 7th, 2024, at that same price of 994.25, and then the sell signal is still on August 28th, 2024, at 1564.20.
So it's like the AI is recognizing the same potential profit window, but the
Yeah.
entry and exit points change depending on, how much data it's analyzing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's saying, hey, there's an opportunity here, but the best time to get in and out might change depending on your investment horizon.
Interesting. So what about a company that only got signals in the yearly report? Like one that wasn't in that first 6-month one?
Let's see. How about ICICI Bank Limited?
By CICI Bank.
Got it. Yeah, so it gets a buy signal on February 5th, 2024 at 123.50.
Yeah.
But there's no sell signal within that year, meaning the AI seems to think its price is going to keep rising.
So if someone had bought it based on that signal, they'd still be holding on to it today.
Yep. Hoping for even bigger gains. And the last close value for ICICI Bank in that report is 2767.70, so it looks like a good call so far. We're talking a potential profit of over 231 rupees per share, even after the brokerage fee.
Okay, so this AI isn't just about those quick in and out trades. It can spot those longer-term growth opportunities too.
Right. It's about understanding the different ways the market can move and using the AI to find those hidden gems, whether it's a short-term price swing or a steady climb over time.
Got it. So far, we've seen buy signals, sell signals, even those short-selling scenarios. But what about a company that only got a sell signal, like one where the AI thought the price would go down?
Ooh, good question. Well, there's Tata Steel Limited. It gets a sell signal on May 23rd, 2024 at 175.450, but no buy signal within that year, so classic short selling scenario.
Yeah, if you thought the price was going to drop, you could short the stock and potentially make a profit.
And the last close value for Tata Steel is 134.40, so it looks like the AI might have been right on that one.
Let's see. So if we'd shorted it based on that sell signal, factoring in the brokerage fee, we'd be looking at a profit of about 39 rupees per share. Not as much as some of the other examples, but still a positive return.
Yeah, definitely not bad. It just goes to show that this AI tool can be used in a bunch of different ways. It's all about figuring out your own investment strategy and how these signals can help you achieve your goals.
That's a great point. So it's not about blindly following every signal. It's about using them as like an extra layer of analysis.
Exactly. It's like having an AI teammate helping you navigate the market. But you're still the one calling the shots, making the final decisions.
Makes sense. So for our listeners who are probably thinking, okay, this all sounds cool, but how do I actually get my hands on this AI tool? What would you tell them?
Well, I definitely point them to that website we mentioned earlier. It's ai.toolsblog.co.in. They've got access to the tool, plus a ton of other information about AI and finance. Definitely worth checking out.
Perfect. So we've talked about specific buy and sell signals, different time frames, even the bigger picture of how this AI analyzes the market. What are your final thoughts? Any parting wisdom for our listeners?
Well, first off, remember, this is just a tool, right? It's not a crystal ball, and there's always risk involved with investing. So don't go betting your life savings on every signal the AI throws your way.
Yeah, got to do your own research too. Can't just rely on the AI to do all the thinking for us.
Right. But that being said, this AI stuff is seriously cool, and it has the potential to really change the way we approach investing. So my advice, stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to experiment a little. See how these new tools can help you achieve your financial goals.
I like it. Embrace the future of investing.
Exactly.
All right, so we've seen what this AI can do, but now I'm kind of curious about the how. Like, how does it actually work? What's going on under the hood?
Well, think of it like this. The AI is kind of like a detective, right?
Yeah.
Except instead of clues and fingerprints, it's looking at tons and tons of data, trying to piece together the story of the market.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
But how does it know what to look for? How does it figure out which data points are important?
So the AI uses these things called algorithms, right? And these algorithms are like sets of instructions that tell the AI how to learn from the data. It's kind of like teaching a kid to ride a bike. You don't give them a step-by-step manual, you let them practice and figure it out on their own.
So the AI is basically learning as it goes,
Mm-hmm.
testing out different ideas and getting better over time.
Exactly. The more data it processes, the smarter it gets. It's constantly refining its predictions, trying to find those patterns that can give us an edge in the market.
That's pretty amazing when you think about it. Like, we've created this thing that can analyze all this information and potentially help us make better investment decisions.
It is pretty wild, isn't it? And it makes you wonder, like, where is all this headed? What will AI be capable of in the future? It's exciting and a little bit scary at the same time.
I know, right? It's like we're stepping into this whole new world of investing where technology is playing a bigger and bigger role.
Yeah, and it's important to remember that at the end of the day, AI is just a tool. It's not going to replace human judgment or intuition. We still need to do our own research.
Hmm.
Think critically about the information we're getting.
Absolutely. It's about finding that balance between using technology to our advantage and still relying on our own knowledge and experience.
Exactly. It's a partnership, not a replacement.
Well said. So, for anyone listening who's thinking, okay, I got to check this AI tool out for myself, where should they go?
That website we mentioned earlier, ai.toolsblog.co.in, they've got all the info. Plus, you can actually access the tool and see it in action.
Awesome. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's important to remind everyone that as cool as this AI stuff is, it's not financial advice, right? Investing always involves risk, and people should do their own research before making any decisions.
Absolutely. Don't just blindly follow any AI, no matter how smart it seems.
Totally agree. So overall, I think we've learned a lot today. We've seen how this AI analyzes the market. We've looked at specific examples of buy and sell signals, and we've even talked about the bigger picture of AI in investing.
It's been quite a journey, and hopefully our listeners are walking away with a better understanding of this fascinating technology and how it can potentially help them achieve their financial goals.
For sure. So until our next deep dive, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep investing smartly.
And most importantly, stay curious. The world of finance is always changing, so embrace the new and keep pushing the boundaries.